Hi, I'm Panda Hershey, and I coach entrepreneurs using astrology to make smart choices with their time and energy so they don't feel like their businesses are sucking the life out of them. Welcome to the March 19th Coffee and Charts call, where we talk about what to do to find the tribe that is going to support you as you meet the challenge of this new paradigm and how to recognize them. And the one key thing is just taking action. So, listen in on our conversation so you'll know what to do and when to do it, and I'll see you on the other side. Welcome, Mitch. So great
Hi,
to have you.
hi, Panda. I would put myself on camera, but I'm laying in bed. I had surgery over a little over a week ago.
Oh
It's
my
elective,
gosh.
so I'm in good shape. It's not something serious,
Okay.
and but here I am.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, it is great to have you. This is a safe space to ask questions. And because you and Sherry are first timers here, do ask questions so that I don't take anything for granted. And I'm hoping that I can offer clarity over the next couple weeks, or that you'll be looking for things and you can see how things connect in your life. But that's kind of the goal. And I'm just thrilled to have you. All right, I'm going to start sharing my slides here. And what we're going to do is basically walk through day by day how things unfold, and this is just for everyone. It's not customized to any particular chart. So that's different work that I do, but it's definitely a piece that I think is helpful for people, gives them a little bit of ease as they navigate life. So where are we right now? So I think all of you have heard that Mercury is in retrograde. And the way I um, do this is I show you this generic chart. And I'm here in Berkeley, California. So this is based on noon my time. And um, you've got basically all the different constellations or astrological signs. And you can see where at noon, where each of the planets are. And um, it is you can see like a whole bunch of them are clustered here. And if you've ever been to the dog park or a place where like a lot of people are gathered, but then everyone starts congregating in one specific spot, there is no way that you don't look and see what's happening, or at least you can feel like, oh my God, there's something. And I don't want to look, but I can feel it going on over there. And that is what's happening. So each of these planets here has a color on this wheel. And so Mercury here is in green. And so there's this green right here. And it backwards is clockwise, moving in this direction. The sun always moves forward because we are always going around the sun. And we see it always like tick about a degree a day in this direction. So think about, you know, 12 astrological signs. A circle is 360 degrees, so 30 degrees about a day for each month. And you've got this steady movement around the sun. And so that is what's happening right now. Venus here in pink, you can see a little pink line. This is the glyph for it, is also moving backwards. So both Mercury and Venus are in retrograde. So does that make sense to Sherry, you, Mitch? Yeah, visually.
Retrograde means moving backwards.
Say it again.
Retrograde means moving backwards. Yeah.
Backwards
Okay.
in the sky. Yes.
Okay.
And backwards in the sky is just the comparison I make is to a racetrack. So I don't know if any of you have been to the races, but when you sit in the stands and you watch the horses go, um, they go around a track. I used to have one right practically in my backyard. And The horses, when you're sitting in the stands, they run left to right, right in front of the stands, right? And then as they make that lap around to the other side, what direction are they running in your field of vision? Right to left. So that looks
Mm.
backward, but it's just because it's inside you, and with our field of vision, it's a little limited. We can see it in that area of the sky. So, and then when it comes back around, it's left to right again. So I hope that makes sense about retrograde. Is just, it's like, oh, it's on a different side of the sun, and we get to see that. So today, the sun is here. It's the day before the spring equinox. And the definition of the spring equinox is when the sun moves into Aries. So the sun here is in that last degree of Pisces. We are doing things with that Pisces energy of feeling like the people around us. And it's been building over the last month. So if it feels very intense, this is why. And the energy is about to shift into doing something with more Aries energy, which is bringing something important to people's attention. And so the sun is entering this, what I call the 2025 Neptune portal, um, where we will have this effortless ability to feel the people around us for like for the whole year. And it may be wonderful. If you've ever been with a crowd at your favorite band's concert, you know what that feeling is like. And also being overwhelmed by a lot of people where it can feel like just too much for us. But the sun is moving through that energy right now and crossing over Neptune today. And so, whoever the people are that are around you, get to be, um, notice who they are. If it's serendipity, great, but they're meant to be there to be part of your crowd. Tomorrow, the sun leaves last year's Neptune portal at like the very end of Pisces and moves into Aries. And moving into this Aries energy will be a shift, both for us individually and also globally, where people will all say, I've got to do something. And it's all going to really depend on the people they've been hanging out with, who they've been spending time with, who they've been listening to. So I've talked about in my emails, the company you keep really matters because that will affect what you're inspired to do. On the 22nd, the sun has moved a little more into Aries, and it leaves this year's Saturn and Neptune portals. So Saturn is about discernment, that energy of tightening things up, getting not letting everything happen, but focusing down. So if you can think about now, who are the people that I really need to be with, because not everyone is the one for this year, you'll start to narrow it down. And in April, it'll be time to start saying goodbye to those people. And it's also who is kind of effortlessly showing up for you, the people that you didn't plan on, the people that just happen to be there at exactly the right time. So some of that combination is going on right now, and just noticing um, and being aware of that is going to be helpful. But also on the 22nd, the sun over here is crossing over Venus. And so, what we in Aries, so whatever you're doing to bring something to people's attention is also a day where they might be really, really receptive if you keep it at kind of a surface level. So, for example, if you were starting something new, like a whole new life, it would be like doing something to say, oh, okay, I'm going to go join that class. Maybe I'm going to go take an art class again that I haven't done in ages. And because I want to see what I can do. That might be a day where the people there might go, oh my God, you're really good at this. Maybe, I want to see more of that. Or if you're a business owner, you can do something to try to get people's attention, and they will be the right ones, will be receptive to hearing that message. So a great day to do a post, go live, do something, but keep it very tight and simple, not go too deep, spark interest. Sorry, I keep moving this up. On the 24th, Mercury and the sun cross over each other. And remember, Mercury's in retrograde. This happens every single Mercury retrograde, that the sun and Mercury cross over each other. And so it's like um, whatever you do to bring people's attention to something is something that needs to be talked about. So you can almost think about it as if you were um, if you had done that class, did that post, did that live, this is the time to follow up on it. This is the time to say, ooh, let's have a conversation. If To even schedule it ahead of time. If you say, I'm posting this or I'm going live, and in 2 days, I'm going to give you time to think about it. Come back and join me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, this private call, and we'll talk about whatever has come up for you. So something like that. Or it could be, wow, I had so much fun when Sun and Venus came together. Maybe I actually need to do this more regularly, or explore that a little more. And this is the point. Well, we'll leave it at that. On the 27th, Venus moves out of Aries back into Pisces and crosses over Neptune. And this Neptune energy is about effortless ability. I think of it as magic. And with Venus being about receiving and taking in and validation, those two energies together in Pisces are almost this realization of, oh my goodness, I really like hanging out with you. I really enjoy being in this energy. And if you've been trying to figure out who it is you're going to be spending time with over the year, this may be the point at which you start to recognize who your tribe is, if that has been something that you've been struggling with, and especially for meeting this new paradigm that we're in for 2025. So, it's still about a week away. If you still don't know right now, it's because maybe all these other things have to happen before it becomes clear. So, look for that on that day. And then on the 29th, Mercury does the same thing. Mercury moves back, because it's moving retrograde, into Pisces. And so it's like thinking about, talking about who I need to be with. And maybe asking people, do you want to hang out? Do we want to be together as a pod? Who is it that is part of my tribe? And that same day, the sun leaves that Mercury portal. So we are in this experimentation mode of all these ideas that came to us from the 1st to the 14th, where we've figured out what was coming to our attention, who it is we wanted to spend time with. Hopefully, we've been testing it since the 16th, and then the testing is done on the 29th. And it's a time to figure out, okay, what did I learn from putting things out there, putting messages out there, and trying things? And then the next day, conveniently, Neptune enters Aries. So if Neptune is this effortless ability, and Aries is that energy of bringing something important to people's attention, it is like this effortless ability to get people's attention on something. And it's only going to be the tiniest little thing. You won't be able to go deep as Neptune continues to work its way through Aries. You'll be able to go deeper effortlessly. And it just means it'll take more work. But just know that you'll be seen and heard by the right people. You won't be able to go deep. And also, The things that come to your attention will not be able to be ignored. If you try to like block something, it will keep coming back at you until you acknowledge it. So we get to pay attention to that. And then on the 31st, the sun leaves the Venus portal, which is from like 24 degrees of Pisces to 11 degrees of Aries. So just noticing who appreciates what you've been putting out there, who sees you, who hears you, who acknowledges your presence is kind of we've been testing that, and that will finish up. And we meet again on the 2nd. Okay, so I'm going to go backward and let you guys watch that one more time without my talking. And I'm realizing that I'm going to go over. I apologize. So, things to watch. Basically, you can just see this whole huge cluster of planets. It's why it feels so intense. It's like being at the dog park and just seeing the whole crowd go to this one area. Something's going on there. What is it? And that's what we're paying attention to, just energetically. The other thing is you can see the moon move very quickly through. It moves about 12 degrees a day. And when it gets through here, it'll be around the end of the month, that it may be an intense couple days. Okay, so here we go. Okay. So this is just the next 2 weeks, a little longer. It's an intense time of being very sensitive to the feelings of the people around you. And when March 20th arrives tomorrow, it will be time to act. As the sun moves into Aries, that's the whole thing about the equinox. And you'll have a message by then, and people need to know. That's how you'll be feeling. Whatever it is that's inspiring you, you will get to start putting it out. It's not the time to put everything out, but it's time to start doing a little something. And the right people, the ones who are meant to get it, are the right people for you. And these are the ones that you'll want to talk to in order to know your next steps. So you'll attract them in and you'll have something to talk about. So you'll get to notice that over the next week or so. There may be this opportunity because we've been trying to get people's attention. I'm thinking about the global stage here, where, it's like, I told you this was coming. And it's best if we let that go and just move forward with the tribe that has shown up and be grateful who's there to be with you for the long haul, for the next several months. And just look for them over the next 2 weeks. You'll get to know who they are. Okay. So to just break it down, from the 14th until today, the sun is moving through these 4 portals, just starting to move in and helping us figure out through our actions who it is we need to be with, who it is that we need to have around us. Then today, the sun moves over Neptune. So whoever it is that's around effortlessly for you, whoever shows up for whatever reason that feels like, oh my God, finally you're here, just pay attention to that. And then tomorrow, the sun moves into Aries. And so with the right people around you, it's about taking action. Even if you are resting in bed, whatever way it is, to bring something important to people's attention. The 22nd, the sun is leaving the Saturn and Neptune portal. So there's this period of time between like the last couple days until the 22nd, where just notice who are the right people for you. We're still in the midst of it. So just knowing, okay, these people are not the ones. And also, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting this, but you are the right ones. And then on the 22nd, also, the sun and Venus meet up. So just know that whatever you are doing, the right people will hear it. So it's a good time to try something. And on the 24th, the sun and Mercury cross over each other. Mercury's going backwards and the sun is going forwards. So, like a great day, maybe for some follow up conversation to whatever happened on the 22nd. And on the 27th, Venus goes back into Pisces and crosses over Neptune. So just starting to recognize your tribe. It's like, okay, these are the ones that I really appreciate having around me, whose energy makes sense for where I'm going this year. Then on the 28th, that's the day that the moon is like passing through this area of the sky. So this could be a day where it just feels like, I got it. Here's who my tribe is. And then on the 29th, Mercury goes back into Pisces. And because maybe you had this inspiration, it's the time to pick up the phone and talk to people and invite them in to be part of your team or tribe, or you may get that call. Also on the 29th is the day that the sun finishes moving through that Mercury portal that's right here. And so just noticing all the things that you've tried to be with the right people and get their attention. Who has that been? What have you been doing to do that? Recognizing that not everything that you tried will work, but just seeing what felt right for you. Where did you feel welcomed? And then on the 30th, Neptune enters Aries. And for the next 6+ months, your ability to get people's attention on a very small thing will be effortless. And whatever comes to your attention also will come effortlessly without your having to work for it. So pay attention to that. And then on the 31st, the sun leaves the Venus portal. That's that whole long blue line over here to just help us notice what we're being appreciated for and who we appreciate and what we enjoy putting out there. Okay. Oops. Sorry. That one shouldn't be there. Tips for thriving. Pay attention to who's around you because their feelings are definitely influencing your actions. And it might even be the news you listen to or the groups that you join and hang out with online, whatever it is. They are influencing your actions. So just make sure that they're aligned with what you're trying to do this year. Tomorrow is a tipping point, and you will be called to act almost instinctively to get people's attention, and the right people will understand and want to talk at some point. Be prepared for a busy day on the 24th. That's the day where the sun and Mercury cross over. And so you may have an idea that may need to be acted on quickly. So people may be doing something and you may want to join them. And so just think about that and be ready for that. So, quick question. I don't know if everyone realized that Mercury retrograde is a time to get creative. It's 3 weeks of experimentation. And so, if you are struggling to feel seen and heard right now, this Mercury retrograde, especially, is the one to help you find the right people and the right words to meet this new paradigm that you're being challenged with in 2025. And so, if you give me 45 minutes, I will give you my system for harnessing every Mercury retrograde that turns that kind of confusion into crystal clarity. And it's the same process every time for the rest of your life. And so just DM me at on Instagram at It's Panda Hershey to get the Zoom link to join any of my classes. I'm doing them basically every weekday until the end of the month. Um, and if you're interested in subscribing to this calendar, just DM me also on Instagram. And there's a system for adding it to your calendar, all the calls. Okay. Whew. Any questions or coaching that I can offer? I realize we are way over time and apologize.
Yeah, now would you mind just going back to that one slide? It was the second half of the summary.
Yeah, no problem. Let's go to
I took like pages and pages of notes here, but that was such a good
this one.
no, the one just before that, I think it was
This one here. Yeah, take a screenshot.
um yes.
Take a screenshot. It also ends up on YouTube to watch at some point.
Oh, except this looks like
Oh, this one.
yeah.
This one's not supposed to be here. This yeah, sorry. This one.
This
Yeah,
one.
okay,
Yes.
there
Thank
we
you.
go. Oh, and I realized I didn't move this circle. Okay, I'm sorry about that. But you can just see like how busy it is here. And that is what we are feeling. The world is feeling it right now. And yeah, it's intense. And one of the things that I point out to people, I don't know if everyone realizes, is that this new paradigm and all of that is happening because of Pluto up here in Aquarius. This happens every 240 years. And the last time this happened was when the American Revolution, frankly, happened, and we were um, building this country. If you're here in the U.S., and it did not happen overnight. Okay, there may have been, I don't even know, was there a surrender? There was a signature, bunch of signatures on a piece of paper that just declared something was so. But the actual implementation of putting a country together took a long time. And that is where we are at right now. We are reliving that, but we have this fortunate experience of finding our tribe now at the very beginning, where we're finding the right people that can get on the same page with us and be with us as we navigate this big shift in our life where all the structures that we've been used to are disappearing. But the right people are there to help us meet that challenge. And there's so much more coming this year that I think is beautiful and wonderful. I'm going to restart my 2025 Outlook calls that help lay out the whole energy of the year so you can overlay it on your life and see how things are unfolding. So, anyone who hasn't done that is definitely invited to join. Any other questions? I am totally open to coaching. Amanda, welcome. I'm sorry we've kind of gone through a lot already, and the replay is there, but I'm going to scoot ahead to the key things here in case you just needed the snapshot. Any other questions? Happy to talk through calendars, things you're thinking about trying, because we are still in the give it a try phase of trying out who I should be spending time with, and also trying out how do I feel seen and heard? How do I not feel like a nobody?
Panda, what was the thing about it happened only once, 240 years ago? What happened 200?
So Pluto is like the furthest out planet. I'm going to still call it a planet because it was a planet when I was a kid. Um, and it goes around the sun the furthest out from the sun. And so we take 365 days, right, to go around the sun. Pluto takes 240 years to go around the sun. And so we don't get to, in our lifetimes, we don't see it move very far. We certainly don't get to see it go all the way around. But the last time that it was in the same spot it is right now was 240 years ago. And that was in the late 1700s when the US was going through its birth and the creation of this, I guess it was the Great Project. Um, and now we are going through a rebirth, a redoing of who we are. And that is certainly there to be observed in real time right now. But it happens day by day and it happens over time. But by the time we get through this process, the country will be different than it was, just like they experienced way back then in the 1700s. Does that make sense? Mitch, does that help?
Yeah, it's just a little thought-provoking.
Okay, so the other things that are very comparable to kind of where things are at is Mars and Pluto are reminiscent. So I'm going to go back to something to show you. I'm going to go back to, sorry. So Mars is here in red. Pluto is here in black. Mars is about commitment and putting your heart into something. And also like putting your heart into defending something, right? You're either really going for it or you're like, put up your dukes. I'm gonna take it to the mat with you. Well, if Pluto is urging you to make things really different and Mars is like, this is what I really care about. And when they're opposite each other, it ignites a lot of sparks and it is a lot of turmoil. And the last couple times when Mars and Pluto were going back and forth, like opposite each other, was where it didn't just zip by, but like spent a lot of time in this space, was in 2008, where it kicked off a lot of turmoil in the financial world here. We're kind of going through that right now. And some of us could see it coming a little while ago. The other time this happened was in the late 1930s. And we kind of know what was going on then. So you throw those two energies together on top of the American Revolution, and it is a challenging time. The other thing is that Neptune here in Pisces is around the 1850s. And that was a time where the US was having its civil war. And that, of course, was a challenging time as well. So if a lot feels very centered on the US, it's because we're reliving a lot of history here. And it's all kind of coming together. It's a lot. But there's a lot of good stuff happening. I know. A lot of fun things that are coming that we get to be we get to step up and show what we have to offer in this new paradigm and meet that challenge. And I'm excited to see what we are all capable of. And I think it's beautiful stuff. Amanda. Ah, okay. Beautiful. So good to see you. Any other questions? I love that question, Mitch. Is everyone going to go keep experimenting until the 29th? We have 10 more days. Well, it's a time to let people know that you're there and that you have something to offer and probably a safe space for them to do it. So, okay, good, Sherry. That's awesome. Amanda, I know that last time we saw you, you had some ideas on what you were going to try. Are they like in? Yes. Awesome. Perfect. And Allie. Okay. Okay. Mitch. And
I don't have a clue.
no clue?
I'll work on it.
Okay. All right. You're going to find your tribe. And I promise the natives will be friendly.
That seemed to be a theme that I don't check in that often, but it seemed to be a theme that you had running previously, maybe 12 months ago, or is it something that's kind of secular, or is it just reoccurring?
Um, so I think you had commented to me like at the end of the year, and we were starting to feel some of that energy, but it is a cyclical thing. It's also been building as Neptune here has been, well, here it's in Aries, but it's been moving through Pisces for many, many years now, bringing the right people into our world. Yeah, good. But we start with all this cluster. Uh, it is getting more intense to make us pay attention. I hope that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys, it's so great to see you. I'm so sorry I went over, but the replay will be out, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks, hopefully. And again, if you haven't done my Mercury class, come join. It's 45 minutes. It's fun. It talks about this particular portal as well as how to use every Mercury retrograde for the rest of your life. And then when I start up those 2025 Outlook calls, I hope if you haven't done it, come join, or if you've done it, come get a check-in. So something I do for fun. All right, go to it, you guys. Great to see you all. Bye.
I know.
Thanks, Panda.
Yeah. I hope you feel prepared to move easily through these next 2 weeks. The energy is about to shift toward taking action, but you're still going to be feeling the people around you pretty intensely for a little bit. And if you would like some help in navigating this Mercury retrograde, just DM me on Instagram with the word Mercury, and I'll send you the link. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.